So you're not really known as a horror actress, so I'm kind of curious if you had maybe a love for the genre or even a like for it before coming into The Forest.
I fell for the script on this one because to me this is primarily like a suspense thriller. It's a psychological horror, and it was the psychological unraveling of the character that really interested me. I mean, I will go where there's a good script. I don't care what genre it is, whether it's action, comedy, straight drama, or, you know, whatever it is. And to me, it just seemed all too plausible that a person would travel to the other side of the world for someone that they loved, that they thought was in danger. And then imagine walking into a place where your own demons got reflected back at you. And then it all starts going wrong from there.
So you were initially drawn in by the warmer elements almost, you know, the family aspect of it. And
I was drawn in by the psychological elements of it.
And the psychological,
because to me that is, I mean, don't get me wrong, like everyone likes a scare and the adrenaline rush of a fright, but to me it's more scary when it's something that is messed up going on in here. So to me it's almost, but I mean, I love the genre. I love any good filmmaking, you know, so...
Just a love of cinema in general.
Well, Guillermo del Toro talks about monsters very eloquently. If you ever listen to anything he says about ghosts and monsters, that they are, when this genre is done well, it's always a metaphor. It's always a metaphor for the bigger things in our lives, and or demons that society is dealing with. And he's very eloquent about it. So, and you know, the Spanish and the Hispanic do horror very well.
Oh, brilliantly.
Incredibly well. And movies like, I don't know, Julia's Eyes, The Orphanage, you know, stuff like that. I love it. Yeah, that was your question? I just carried on talking.
So can we talk about that one scene where you're pulled underground? I kind of want to know how production is able to pull that off. And is that
when
really you?
When I was pulled underground?
Yes. Is
or
that
when
you
I
really?
Fell underground?
No, getting pulled. Is that actually you getting pulled under a surface, or is that?
Yes, it was very physical, this job. I mean, there were quite a few scratches and bruises on this job. But that's kind of the way I like it. I mean, I like to complain about it, you know, give me your sympathy, but I actually get a kick out of it, really. It's just masochism, that's all it is.
Is there hesitation going into a shot like that and a stunt like that? Because, I mean, even me, the claustrophobia kind of kicked in as you're kind of going underground, and I'm like, oh, I couldn't do that. Like, honestly, is there...
It's a way of acquainting yourself with yourself.
Facing your fears right up front.
Facing your fears, and exactly that thing that Sarah and Jess are both doing in the movie. So, yeah, you get the adrenaline rush, and when you achieve something like that, and especially when you work on film and it looks good, then you really it's intoxicating. You know, it's addictive.
So the payoff at the end of that, when you see the shot, that's what really gets you through.
It's true.
All right. That works for me, because again, I wouldn't be able to do that, like even knowing the way it was going to be. But so did you do a lot of research into the Japanese culture before you came into this film, and kind of get yourself acquainted with the backstory?
No, because Sarah doesn't. That's the whole point. She's walking into an alien environment where she really understands very little. So it's almost like I tried to turn off the part of my brain. When the week we were in Tokyo, we had an amazing Japanese crew. And Natalie's side of me was really curious about the culture and, you know, wanting to visit the temples and hear about everything. And then the other professional side of me was like, I really don't want to know about this, because she's so, she's like every good adventure story, your main character is isolated and therefore vulnerable. So it was a weird contradiction of balancing there.
Trying to be the professional and also being
trying to be
tourist who wants to see everything.
Trying to be a good tourist, but also trying to be a professional.
So last question, I'm just curious myself, how many times a day do you get asked if Jon Snow is dead? I need to, like,
a lot today.
If it was a drinking game, like by what time would you be drunk?
Actually, not that often, because really? I think people understand that we're not going to comment. So everyone's like, don't bother asking, they're not going to answer. So,
interesting.
You know,
that's actually surprising.
Yeah, I suppose it is really, but not long to go now. You know.
We will find out soon.
We're nearly there. Just a few more months.
We're all waiting. Thank you a lot. Appreciate it.